In general, today we will look at how the struggle between Nikki and feminists in general is going on. But first I'll say a few words. Dear feminists, I am also a feminist, only in the truest sense of the word. And as a result, a small part of feminists went from defense to attack and literally began to contradict themselves. I am very sad that many people do not understand the meaning of the word feminism, thereby exposing normal feminists as clowns. Let's start, perhaps, with the first example of a Russian feminist struggle with abstinence. This is peeping or photographing women under their skirts in public places, okay? Let's say this is a problem. I'm not gonna tell you now why it's not a problem. Let's just imagine it like this. 1 in 3 takes pictures of poor feminists under their skirt. That's not the point. See how they decided to highlight the problem.
This video is my video manifesto. With his help, I want to draw maximum attention to a problem.
Well, yes, they decided to just lift the skirt to combat peeping under the skirt. It's reasonable, it's brilliant, there are no words. It's like cutting kittens to protect animals, or beating your head off the floor instead of a headache pill. But so that you don't think that only in Russia activists use such unusual methods, let's fast forward from Russia to France. One of the activists decided to draw attention to sexual violence. She just offered everyone to touch her as much as they wanted and where they wanted. Yes? And what time am I fucking scum and an oppressor? After this video, I just went to my favorite site. There is this uncensored video. You can jerk off to the feminist struggle. But seriously, imagine a man in her place who would do the same thing. It seems to me that this would be treated extremely negatively. And in Russia, probably this glass booth turned out not to be outside it, but inside through the anus. That's all the equality you're shouting about. Women have long been a privileged class, especially here in the cis. I frankly tried a long time ago to make a video about what poor women in Russia are being harassed about, but I couldn't find any sensible material, except for those who are harassing us. I do not argue. Such things really exist, have been and will be, but it is not global. In relation to men, especially from the point of view of the law, everything is much worse. Why? You're not helping us feminists. Where is your holy struggle for equality? The hate towards feminism did not arise out of the blue. I'm not going to say now that the gaming industry, cinema, bitch, which are suffering because of them. And there is not a lot of everything about this, but because of self-contradictions. Let's take an example that happened relatively recently. A proposal was made to the State Duma on conscription for women. That is, they will also be able to be drafted like men. I will say right away, I personally am against conscription in general. I think that service should be under contract, that is, voluntary for both men and women. The army itself should create such conditions so that people go there voluntarily, as it is done in other countries. In general, in fact, a proposal was submitted to the State Duma on conscription for women. And as if it were a huge step towards equality between women and men, everything is honest. Both sexes can serve just like in Norway. There they have a slightly shorter service life than women, but it's still better. There is no discrimination about the weaker sex. But our feminists from the Kehl public were overheard, and in the West too, they immediately backed off, and the desire to fight for rights disappeared somewhere when they realized that rights would become equal to men. Here are some comments on this topic. I perfectly understand their indignation, but come on, we all understand that women in the Russian Federation will not serve because they are a privileged class and they are against the fact that they have a privilege, but also not just give a shit. So let's move on to NixelPixel. Let's talk about her struggle. Rather, we read her statements.
I post pictures of my body hair because I like my body hair, and also because it's all considered abnormal. In our vile sexist society, it is normal for a woman to be without hair, but it is not normal for a hairy one.
Crawl your shiz. You're glad that Nika likes her body hair. It's great that she shares this with us. But regarding some other things, hygiene is banal. I'm not talking about the menstrual cup which has been boiling in her boyfriend's mug in the microwave for... I haven't thought of that right now. You would also show you her VIP page, but I'm afraid YouTube will ban me. Just go to her page after this video, you will understand everything for yourself. So let's hear it further.
I sometimes wear the same t-shirt for 5 days, and I sometimes feel reluctant to wash, or just find it difficult to get out of bed. Why do I have small pimples on my back and chest? Then I scold myself, I change my t-shirt more, it all happens anyway. Sometimes I'm too lazy to wipe all the sperm from my stomach, and I just rub the remains with my hands and go about my business. Or I forget to use a Daisic and only sniff at myself during the day, and I'm like, damn, I don't brush my teeth either.
In fact, she can even smear herself with shit and say that it's natural. they won't say a word to her. Moreover, she calls herself a poo bag in the third person. Frankly speaking, I would say everything I think right now, give the numbers of a psychiatrist, but this bag of poop, Nick will just throw a strike at me. So I sincerely hope that you and I have the same telepathic thoughts. And yes, I'm sure they match. The scariest thing about it is that children follow her. They absorb everything like a sponge. Yes, you can throw the same thing at me, and I generally burp in my videos, but most of my audience is not children. Of course, if you judge the statistics on YouTube and the VK group. But I still have to tell you, don't smear yourself with cum. And your friends too. Fuck, use wet wipes. What the fuck is this? Way feminism is winning. I do not know what the fuck is going on. Everyone just started indulging in everything. Even I suffer because of this. I have to cut my videos. You have no idea what huge pieces I cut out during the installation process, so as not to break the rules and hate someone. Even in this video, I cut out so many jokes about Nikla. And not only YouTubers suffer from this, but even the game companies of the series Queer. That is, for example, Feminists accuse a gaming company sue because there are no women in the main role. Or according to the plot, a man beats her there. Yes, even feminists sometimes write to me. What the fuck are you talking about? You're fucking for... Well, this shit is typical. And the question is, why the fuck do they tell the creator what his work should look like? Who are they to point out to the author? It's not their brainchild. They're just claiming, thanks to this, now men have become very choppy in films and women on the contrary. And this applies to games too, in general. I know that feminists and feminists, so watch this video. You're well done. But pseudo memes, please try to understand. Maybe you are really wrong. I just advise you to read the meaning of the word feminism, and then everything will be fine. I will not express otrogatina because it is natural. Yes, Nika. And yes, dudes, I'll leave a link to one group in the pinned comment. Before you fly there, I do not advise you to write anything there. We'll never prove anything to anyone there, but a clean laugh will do. And that's it for me. Don't be assholes and good luck.
Get up on the floor, dancing all night long. Get up on the floor, dancing till the break of dawn. Get up on the floor, dancing till the break of dawn. Get up on the floor.